Hi, there's Oscar Brand. With me is Miss Evelyn Knight, bringing beauty and charm to the world of folk music. I've slung my guitar o'er my shoulder, and I've wandered this country around. And the tunes that I've heard in my journey have sung up a wonderful sound.
The world of folk music is brought to you each week at this time as a public service on behalf of your Social Security Administration. Today, Evelyn Knight joins your host, Oscar Brand, as we explore the world of folk music and learn about the protection you're building for yourself and your family through Social Security. Today, you'll hear how Social Security payments help put a retired household worker through high school. And you'll learn how household workers can qualify for Social Security benefits. Right now, though, it's time to hear from Oscar Brand.
Tom Bolin was a Scotsman born, his shoes they was tight, his leggings torn, his hair cut short and his collar wore thin. I'm all in the fashion, says Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, I-oh. Tom Bolin had no breeches to wear, so he skinned him a sheep to make him a pair. Furry side out, skinny side in, it gets cold in the summer, says Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, hi-ho. Tom, he slept in a hollow tree, and comfortable he seemed to be. The weather was cold and the rain dripped in. It's running water, says Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, hi-ho. Tom, his wife, and his wife's mother tried to cross a small bridge together. The bridge was weak, they all fell in. First to the bottom, said Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, Tom Bolin, hi-ho. That's Tom Bolin, or at least one of the dozens of versions of the oldest folk song that I know. Today's guest has dozens of hit records to her credit, none of them folk songs in the strictest sense. She starred in some of America's finest clubs, but never in a coffee house and never at a hootenanny. Why then is Evelyn Knight visiting with us on the world of folk music?
I was going to ask that question myself, Oscar.
I'll answer it, Evelyn. You're here because so many of the songs you do, and do so well, are really based on folk material. So, Evelyn Knight, how about giving us your version of a favorite old song?
Who's going to shoe your pretty little feet? Who's going to glove your hand? Who's gonna kiss your red rosy lips while I'm in the foreign land? Papa's going to shoe your pretty little feet. Mama's going to glove your hand. Sister's gonna kiss your red rosy cheek till I return again. You know a crow is cold, cold black and turns to a purple blue. If I ever prove false to you, I hope my body melts like dew. Who's going to shoe your pretty little feet? Who's gonna glove your hand? Who's gonna kiss your red rosy lips till I return again?
Who's going to shoe your pretty little foot? Thank you, Evelyn Knight. And now it's time to chat with Wallace E. Kendall of the Bureau of Old Age and Survivors Insurance, who's become a regular on the world of folk music.
Oscar, today I'd like to tell you the remarkable story of a woman who recently became a high school graduate.
Well, there's nothing too remarkable about that, Wallace.
At the age of 72,
I'll admit that is remarkable. Who is this unusual woman?
she's Mrs. Mahalia Belton of Daytona Beach, Florida. About 50 years ago, Mrs. Belton had to quit school and go to work to help support her family. But through all the years, her dream was to return to school, to finish her education.
Well, why did she have to wait all those long years?
She never seemed to have the time or money she needed.
How did she finally manage, then?
Mrs. Belton says that Social Security benefits made it possible for her to realize her lifelong ambition.
Was she a conscientious student?
Never missed a class in the 5 years it took her to win her diploma. Never even came late for a single session. She admits she was the teacher's pet, and she loved every minute of it.
Does she intend to go on to college?
Possibly, but not right away. She says she needs time to catch up with some housework now that her homework is done.
What kind of work did she do to qualify for Social Security benefits?
She did household work all her life.
Now, isn't it true that not all household workers are covered by Social Security?
That's true, but if a household worker is paid $50 in cash in a 3-month period by one employer, her earnings must be reported by the employer. The employer must pay 1/2 the Social Security tax and make a report of the worker's earnings to the Internal Revenue Service. The employer is permitted to deduct the other half of the Social Security contribution from the worker's wages. It's through these reports that the worker earns Social Security credit that will count toward benefits someday for herself and her family.
One final question, Wallace. Where can people get more information on Social Security and the household worker?
By asking at the nearest Social Security office for a free copy of one of these 2 booklets. Number 21 for employers, entitled Social Security and Your Household Employee, or number 24 for employees, entitled Good News for Household Workers.
Thank you, Wallace Kendall. Evelyn Knight, there's one song you do that's really become your song, even though it goes way, way back and has been sung for generations. I refer, of course, to The Lass with the Delicate Air.
Yes, Oscar, it's practically my theme song, and somewhere along the line it became a kind of a trademark.
And Evelyn Knight became The Lass with the Delicate Air. Would you do it for us now?
I'd be happy to. The tavern was crowded, 2 couples were there. They were served by a lass with a rose in her hair. Her manner was charming, her beauty so rare. And truly she had a most delicate air. A most delicate air. They called her the lass with the delicate air. A delicate air. Some soldiers were passing and looked through the glass. They were struck by the charm of this delicate lass. They lingered in longing her kisses to share. For truly she had a most delicate air. One soldier arose who'd been everywhere. He said, I've never seen anyone quite so fair. He vowed he would marry the lass then and there. For truly she had a most delicate air. A most delicate air. He yearned for the lass with the delicate air. He offered his heart and he offered his hand. He painted a future so rosy and grand. Dear sir, she replied, ask the bartender there, for he's wed to the lass with the delicate air. The delicate air. Adieu to the lass with the delicate air. Adieu, adieu, adieu.
adieu, adieu to the lass with a delicate air.
Evelyn Knight singing, as indeed Evelyn Knight is, the lass with the delicate air. Before we say adieu, Evelyn, I think I can tie this program up very decently. You know, we started with Tom Boleyn, so let's sing about Anne Boleyn. In the town of London, large is life. The ghost of Anne Boleyn walks, they declare. Anne Boleyn was once King Henry's wife, until he had the axeman Barber. Oh yes, he done a wrong long years ago, and she comes back at night to tell him so. With an head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. Along the draughty corridors for miles and miles she goes. She sometimes catches cold, poor thing, it's cold there when it blows. And it's awfully awkward for the queen to have to blow a nose with her head tucked underneath her arm. Sometimes old King Henry gives a spread, for all his gals and pals, a ghostly crew. The axeman carves the joints and cuts the bread, when in walks Anne Boleyn to spoil the do. She holds her head up with a wild war whoop, and Henry cries, "Don't drop it in the soup." With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. One day she caught King Henry, he was in the canteen bar. He said, "Are you Anne Seymour, Anne Boleyn, or Catherine Parr?" "Now, how in heck am I supposed to know just who you are, with your head tucked underneath your arm?" The story of Anne Boleyn, and we've run out of airtime, delicate airtime, for today's session on the world of folk music. I've slung my guitar o'er my shoulder, and I've wandered this country around, and the tunes that I've heard in my journey have sung up a wonderful sound.
The World of Folk Music, starring Oscar Brand, has been presented transcribed by the Bureau of Old Age and Survivors Insurance to acquaint you with the benefits Social Security provides for you.
There's sadness and joy set to music, the story of life in a song. I guess we'll just keep on a-singing as we go a-traveling along.